Ninja Savior's Return of the Warriors has punched its way onto the Nintendo Switch. This lovingly remastered title is a classic beat-em-up from the SNES and arcade heyday. But is it any good? I'm James Zamero here at SwitchWatch. Let's jump in and find out. Back in 1987, Taito were pushing the boundaries of arcade machines, and a title called Ninja Warriors was released on a 3-screen cabinet. It looked and sounded great, featuring a well-loved Zuntata soundtrack. 7 years later, a sequel came out named Ninja Warriors Again that added characters, improved graphics and more. It was released on the SNES in 1994. All these years later, and the title is back once again. The concept is simple enough. Take a nostalgic title, spruce up the graphics, add some modern features and release it. The story in the game never really was a big feature and isn't here. It has a cool little opening and an ending sequence, but apart from that, there's not a lot going on. You play as one of a number of cyborgs against an evil force across 8 levels. It has a kind of Terminator meets Street Fighter feel to it that oozes class but doesn't really come to the fore. Perhaps a bit more could have been made of it, but that's not the point of a game like this. Where other games like Streets of Rage had the illusion of 3D by including multiple planes, Ninja Saviors opts for a different take. It focuses on a single plane, instead throwing enemies against you in huge waves and in return arming you with lots of moves to beat them up with. More on those shortly. You choose one of 3 characters: Ninja, a beefy tank, and slow cyborg that makes up for his lack of pace with nunchucks and power. Kunichi, a speedy ninja that throws stars and jumps around. She is squishy but agile. And Kamatachi, a middle-sized cyborg that slashes enemies to pieces quickly with his blade arms. A really cool looking character in my opinion. Later on you can unlock 2 additional new characters that bring their own skills as well. The game takes place over 8 stages in a side-scrolling arcade style. You take out waves of enemies before moving on, and at the end of each stage there is a boss to beat. The game at first run isn't too difficult and will take you just a couple of hours maybe to complete, with dying a few times along the way. The catch is your run is timed, and if you die, your run won't continue to time you. You can still complete the game, but it won't count towards that all-important run time. Once you complete the game, you will unlock hard mode and the first new character, Yaksha. Straight out of Nintendo's arms, she uses extendable limbs to bash her enemies with. The controls are superb. At first it feels like a button basher. Keep hitting attack button and you soon realise you need to mix in throws, blocks, evasive attacks and each character's specials to perform well. It actually performs a little bit more like a fighter than a normal beat 'em up. It plays differently and has their strengths. There are nuanced moves as well. Grab and then hit another button whilst holding sideways with Ninja will throw enemies sideways, whilst pressing down will break them over your knee. With Kamatachi, holding block and then jumping will perform a flip and allow you to get around enemies. Enemy variety is pretty good. You've got generic minions to big beefy robots and drones that drop bombs on you, speedy ninjas and Yakuza looking dudes as well. Each of the different characters takes these different enemies on in their own way. Multiplayer is of course new here and it's a blast. Bashing enemies together, one taking the front and the other taking the back for example, is exactly what you want when playing together on a couch, and given the game is easy to pick up and play, it's perfect for this purpose. The only real gripe is that it's all over a little bit too quickly, which is where leaderboards, hard mode and time attack come into play. Each character has a leaderboard per level online, and one for an overall game run, both in normal and hard modes. Time attack is simple enough, and runs won't take much longer than 2 minutes, making it a nice way to play on the move. The game plays well either with a D-pad or analog sticks and looks lovely in handheld mode as well. It performs nicely there, we'll touch on that in a second. Zuntata are Taito's house band and have produced tracks on epics such as Bubble Bubble and the Daria series. Here, their work is excellent once again. The music is upbeat and so easy to listen to that it just doesn't get old or boring. There's a hint of robotic in these synth pop tracks that fits the dystopian setting really well. In a game like this, it is essential to get the music right, and they have done just that. I do find myself often thinking with beat 'em ups and just indie titles in general that something is missing, and more often than not, when you look at it, it's actually the audio. The sound effects are equally satisfying. Explosions, crunches and grunts are the order of the day. One thing that stands out is how cool the game looks. The team making this remaster have done the basics well, making it fit 16:9 without any oddness, scaling characters correctly, etc. But the little touches are both old school and very cool. When you die, for example, your body blows up, revealing your inner circuits looking fresh out of the Terminator. Defeating a boss slows down time in an awesome effect that feels like you've achieved something. The characters and backgrounds are all carefully crafted. There's even a setting to enable red effects to make things look a bit more gory. That's something that was originally censored out of the first game back in '94. Performance-wise, I'm pleased to report no issues. I didn't experience any troubles, slowdown or other gripes. The visuals are a nice, smart package that have been put together. Of course, pixelated graphics aren't for everybody, but if you like pixelated art, this looks great. A digital copy will set you back £16.99 in the UK, $19.99 in Europe, and it's coming to the US on October the 15th due to an issue, sadly, though of course if you are buying digitally you can pick it up from any eShop country. The physical edition is lovely looking, complete with a physical manual and ninja star. I love it when games come with this kind of stuff. And it will be around £26 and looks like a nice one for a collection. I know Juan's already seen it and has got his eye on it. It's a fantastically fun game that's well polished and takes a classic game and doesn't mess with it. It just adds things like co-op and leaderboards. It would have been nice to see additional stages as the game is quite short, but I feel it's worth it personally. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with this beat 'em up. It's fun, frantic, and has enough new features to give it a bit more longevity. It's not the toughest game and could do with more levels, and for some, a step back in time means a game they won't enjoy, but for me and many others who grew up in the 90s, it's a trip down memory lane with a nice new polish on top. A very solid 8 out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed this one, everybody. I'm James Amero here at SwitchWatch. I want to just say a massive thank you to all of our existing subscribers. We really appreciate you guys sticking around with us. Pop us a comment down below if you like the look of this one. If it's your first time here, I hope you did enjoy this review, and for more content like this, lots and lots of Nintendo Switch exclusive content, then please do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you on board. Hit that thumbs up and pop us a comment down below. If retro's not your thing and you're looking for something more modern, then I would recommend checking out Jordan's review of Astral Chain. That one looks to be an epic title. You can click on that video by clicking up at the top right hand side. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone.